In the third season of the Flat Out Racing League, the FORL Cup Series has surpassed every expectation placed upon it. In 20 races to this point, the rookies have come from the bottom of the board to the top of the championship standings. A road course ace still chases a first victory this season on an oval, and our defending series champion looks to fight for a second consecutive title, and every storyline comes to a head in the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway. This is the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale, a 140-lap event, the last of the tour, to find out who's got what it takes not only to win the final race of the season, but in addition to come home with the championship trophy at the end of the night. Great to have you all watching live again on FTN. I'll be your host for all of tonight's action, commentating and producing. I am David Kreutz. The entire FTN team welcomes you to one of the biggest races all year long. The FORL Cup Series now sees a field of over 15 drivers qualifying for tonight's event. Ethan Workman currently has the pole position, and River Page is the only driver still on track. 5 minutes and 28 seconds are left for the drivers to take their qualifying times. Wesley Kutznoff also gets out of the circuit, and it looks like right now 15 drivers have at least gotten on the track here for qualifying. Waiting only now on Joey Stone in the number 8 machine. He's the only driver awaiting a qualifying time. His championship rivals have already lined up on the order. Max Molina with the advantage as it stands. Your defending champion finds himself third on the provisional starting grid. Then from there you're going to see Jacob Wilkerson in 8th and Andrew Cootie in 11th. But River Page right now going to be the only driver on the circuit for Miata Gang Designs, and as the number 24 machine comes to the top of the track, barreling down the front straightaway, it's going to be the number 24, now up to 5th on the qualifying charts. Jackhammer JT, Miss Week, Slinky, Shelton Ponder the second, all in chat room already. Great to have you here. We're in for one hell of a night with exciting drivers, captivating storylines, and most importantly, the championship battle. Now, to fill all of you in who are watching perhaps for the first time in the FORL Cup Series, unlike in stock car racing, of course, historically speaking, the season-long championship has been the only formula used for most racing disciplines. Now, here in the FORL Cup Series, that is not the case. The drivers know exactly what they're getting into. The Championship 4 is the expected way to go on the final race of the season, no matter where that track may be. Tonight, of course, it'll be at Homestead-Miami Speedway, but previously in Phoenix, 4 drivers come in with an equal shot at the championship. Highest finisher wins. No matter who that highest finisher is, no matter where they finish, if they are the highest of all the 4 who have made it to the finale, they will win the championship no matter what. 4 drivers will come in with an equal standing in the championship race. And now tonight, we find out who will separate themselves from the pack, and Joey Stone going to be going on for one final qualifying lap. One other thing we'd like to show you all night long, we will have direct exclusive coverage of our drivers' onboard cameras, not only in the virtual space, but in the real world. Take a look at the bottom right of your screens. We're getting this set up for the first time tonight. Joey Stone will be in just a moment, and the kick streaming number 8 is what we'll be looking at all night long. Now, in addition, we also have Max Molina. We also have Andrew Cootie. Looks like right now Joey Stone's camera giving us a little more trouble on the feedback, so let's get it set up and make sure he's still got camera coverage. Our defending champion, Max Molina, as you might remember, we were watching his onboard camera all throughout the previous season in that championship finale. However, it looks like right now Joey Stone's seeing some connection issues. We'll watch his qualifying lap, not with the physical camera on right now, and see whether or not he chooses to reconnect into the session. Max Molina, who is currently the biggest advantage in qualifying. He's third as it stands. He will have the advantage coming to the green flag, and we are set to watch that number 45 machine. But Joey Stone here to make a change as the drivers barrel through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. You set yourself up for that second and final lap, and right now that's exactly what Joey Stone is doing. Taking a look as he's going to go 15th on the board in his first lap. 2 minutes still remaining. This is the last opportunity any driver will have before the race gets going. Stone going to get very loose that time by. He's still quicker than his previous lap, and now we go good 3 and 4 one final time. Right on board, and you'll see going all the way to the bottom of the track, trying to get any ounce of momentum. Now half a second quicker than his previous lap. Joey Stone Stone much faster and at the line. Expect an improvement, and there will be one. 33.1, only going to jump him up to 11th, however, and going to be mired back with Andrew Cootie now in 13th. Joey Stone set to be in the 11th spot, and it's now 9th for Jacob Wilkerson. So Max Molina, your defending series champion, has a major advantage with 1:22 on the clock, and every driver has taken their time. We did some behind-the-scenes checking. Max Molina's camera is hooked up, which means we'll be watching him when he comes to the green this time by. Qualifying has concluded for the final time this season. Joey Stone sets the final lap. Race control is in place, and we're expecting to see the checkered flag wave on this session before we move on to our finale. 140 laps, 210 miles, and one exciting race. That's what we've got left here in the Homestead-Miami Speedway, the former host of the NASCAR Cup Series championship race until 2020, and still here in the FORL Cup Series, the memory lives on, and this iconic circuit gets to place host to a virtual championship event, and it looks like already we have ourselves a grid to take notes on. We understand who's going to be starting where, and this could change the complexion of tonight, so keep that in mind. Starting grid has been set, and without further ado, this is the final starting grid of 2023 for the FORL Cup Series. The Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale gets going in just a minute, and it's Ethan Workman on the top of the board. Number 23 machine there with a 32.595, the final pole position of the season, and Michael Cormetis with a 32.718 will start in second, runner-up spot for the driver of the number 25. Then from there, going to be Max Molina, the highest up of any Championship 4 driver. He'll be starting in third with a 32.755, and Jackson Carr will be in fourth, 32.807. Fifth place to conclude the top 5 will be River Page, and the number 24 machine there with a 32.839. Henry Caloff, position number 6 with a 32.91 flat. James Thurston, 0.003 of a second behind, will start in the 7th spot, hoping for some luck tonight in Miami. Known as the King of Homestead in this circle, he's looking to go back to the top of the board as he'll be starting 7th, right beside Kansas winner Alex Jones, who will start in the 8th position. Then from there, Jacob Wilkerson's number 43 machine is set to start in 9th. Number 43, the winningest driver all season long, another rookie contender, and he'll be starting at the top of the board, much like the number 42, right beside him. It'll be Chance Parker to round out the top 10. 32.96 for the driver of the number 42, and your top 10 only spread out by 0.4 of a second. Then from there, you'll see the remainder of the grid, including Joey Stone, who will start in the 11th place as a 33.096, just good enough to get that 11th spot from Ross Corlett, and a 33.182 for the number 91. Andrew Cootie, in the most trouble, the road course ace, still chasing a first oval victory this season, finds himself now 13th with a 33.339, and Wesley Kutznuff, 14th to start the night, has a 33.35 in the 0-2. Dustin Pickle will start in 15th, and Hunter Bogdan has the final qualifying time of the night with a 34.829. Bryce Hamrick, Joaquin Stewart, your race control, and Michael Deitch will be the 17th and final driver registered for Season 3's final race. That is your final starting grid of Season 3, and the iRacing official pace car set to get in motion. And now that the grid has been set, the drivers are set to grab a gear. The pace car is right in front of the field, and they're, of course, all ready to get pumped up one final time. 140 laps is a longer distance than any intermediate race all season long. This is the longest of which means there's a lot more time for strategy to develop, a lot more time for things to change as the race goes on. Don't expect a very stable, very predictable race. The unpredictable happens in the championship finale. No stage breaks as it was last season. However, we will expect to see some pit stop cycles, strategies change, and as the night progresses, that might be the make or break for any driver, no matter where they start. Max Molina going to be up there in the 2nd spot now as Michael Cormetis takes an end-of-line penalty, and it looks to be starting at the back of the field, meaning Molina now going to be up on the front row with his DeHub Motorsport teammate in Ethan Workman. 140 laps to get through tonight, and we'll be watching the bottom right of your screen. Max Max Molina's camera is indeed hooked up, so take a look now as you'll see the driver of the number 45, your defending champion. He's starting in the FedEx number 45, tribute to Jason Leffler. And of course, 10 years after his passing tonight, a decade in honor. The number 45 Molina chases a championship. Ethan Workman on the pole position chases a win. The green flag will drop for the final time this season. Welcome to Homestead-Miami. This is the Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale. A hornet's nest at the line sees River Page, your new race leader. Page gonna get it from James Thurston now right up high. Max Molina goes down to the bottom. He's your championship leader for now, but with some big gains from Jacob Wilkerson. Looks like Jacob might just get in the mix. Not too far behind, Joey Stone is as well. And a number 8 machine gonna be coming through, the kick streaming machine up top for this Chevy Camaro. It's gonna be up high for the number 8 Indeed. 2 laps in, and we've already seen some big changes up front. It's gonna be James Thurston and River Page fighting for the race win. Immediately, you'll see those two get out to a hot start while Max Molina maintains his top 3 position and currently finds himself at the head of the field. So far, smooth run for Molina, of course, in the opening laps, but a lot of time to go from this point onward. And that number 45 set to get back moving. The FedEx Express machine now going to be just ahead of Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson runs in 6th. It's Alex Jones then in 7th, and looks like Joey Stone drops back again into 8th. The kick streaming machine now going to be right ahead of Andrew Cooney. Cooney's going to be there on the high side, and you're now going to be watching on board with the driver of this number 9 machine, and you'll see what's going on as the McConey setup shop Chevy Camaro goes up top, tries to get a better run on the high side, but some trouble as Max Molina is going to be further and further out of view. Michael Cormetis makes a pass, and already times are changing and drivers switching positions. Cooney, who started outside the top 10, he's now trying to make his way in. He did for just a little while, but now some pressure again as Max Molina is going to get further and further away. Jacob Wilkerson going to be up to 5th already. Trouble for Ross Corlett back of the field. Number 91 is without a front end, and it looks like trouble already for the first time tonight. Ross Corlett, former Final Four contender, and from the Final Four last season to immediate trouble tonight, Ross Corlett has no choice but to come down to pit road, and he will be the first incident of the night. And you'll see he's had this for quite a while. We are looking back over a minute here, and now you're looking back at the very beginning of the incident. Looks like Corlett was on his own to the back of the field, goes up top. Not with anyone right now, but going through turns 1 and 2, looks like he further sets himself apart, not in the good sense. As you can see, there's Hunter Bogdan, and when Hunter wiggles, it's going to be Dustin Pickle up to his teammate, and a multi-car chain reaction back of the field. That's going to cost Ross Corlett big. Bogdan is now 16th, Dustin Pickle is in 15th, and it looks like right now, back of the field spreads themselves out further, while James Thurston leads the way. And as expected by many drivers, James Thurston would have a night to remember, and you could see the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport number 4 already out in front and has that lead by a substantial margin over River Page, just about half a second, and River taking it easy right now in that runner-up spot. 1st and 2nd respectively going to be ahead then of Max Molina, and Molina still holds the championship advantage as it stands. And with Max Molina up in front, Ethan Workman's then going to be 4th. Jacob Wilkerson, position number 5. Jackson Carr is going to be 6th, and Alex Jones is then going to be in 7th. Largely single file to kick things off. The early laps have come and gone, and now we're starting to get ourselves in a rhythm and strategy tonight. We'll see how big a deal it is. Very fair conditions in the mid-60s when it comes to track and air temperature here in the virtual Homestead-Miami Speedway, so don't expect the track temperature to be much a difference all throughout the night. Expect a very stable temperature, very stable conditions. The difference will be whether or not drivers can utilize tire properly, as right now it looks like James Thurston is breaking away from the field. Nobody else seems to have it quite well as figured out as that number 4. However, we'll see who's going to try to push their resources, try to fight harder to get up in front, who's going to stretch their fuel runs, who comes in early, the undercut, the overcut. These are all decisions already being made in the minds of many drivers. You have to have that thought up in advance. Jacob Wilkerson is now trying to think of a way to get back in front and ripping the high side of the number 43 machine for Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse, your title sponsor tonight. It is Jacob Wilkerson going all the way up top through turns 1 and 2, now in the middle of the racing circuit, and he's going to have himself a lot of room if he tries to get up to Ethan Workman right now. Won't quite work, but that momentum down the front straightaway helps out, and it looks like now your pole sitter in pressure, of course, of losing a top 5 position. If Jacob Wilkerson gets by, there's also Jackson Carr who's fighting right behind, and PBR drivers coming in droves here. Number 43, number 55, our teammates tonight. Keep that in mind as the race goes on, because now Wilkerson is keeping it hot not only on Ethan Workman, but on Max Molina right in front. Molina right now has not one but 2 drivers to worry about, and you'll see he's holding on quite well at the moment. There's Wilkerson coming down the front straightaway with a lot more speed, makes that spot up, and now the championship battle is 1 position. For those, once again, who are coming in for the first time tonight, Final 4 means that Jacob Wilkerson, Max Molina, Joey Stone, Andrew Cootie are your 4 drivers eligible, and the highest finisher of all those 4 drivers will be your champion, no matter what's happened previously in the season. So right now, Jacob Wilkerson within 1 position of getting that championship lead. Molina has it, and right now Jacob Wilkerson does not. But you know, he's trying to get there as close as he can get right now. It'd be a better thing to get the work out the way right now, get that distance, of course, cut back, because Max Molina had a fantastic qualifying effort. Started in the front row of tonight's event after it was Michael Cormenes who opted to start in the back of the field intentionally. So it was Molina who started up there effectively in second, where it was Jacob Wilkerson who started in the 9th position. And right now, he's going to be trying to make that move on River Page and Max Molina at the same time, rubbing up the track. River Page and Max Molina make moves. Wilkerson drops down low, and River Page is going to see the championship battle right behind him. There goes Molina down low. There's Jacob Wilkerson right up to the top side once again. Number 43's got speed. 45 not going to be happy about losing time. And just like that, Jacob Wilkerson takes the championship lead. Just like that indeed. Quick move and quick thinking. And Jacob Wilkerson goes down to the bottom of the track. River Page going to end up top. And now Max Molina is going to be covered 3 wide. And all of a sudden going to have a lot more pressure for every position. Looks like just a few laps ago he had the championship lead locked down, at least for the time being. But times have changed oh so fast. And now Jacob Wilkerson with that advantage. Might not be tremendous, but it is slowly but surely expanding in the favor of the 43 team. Wilkerson's got the lead. Now River Page is going to be in the 3rd spot just behind our championship leader, while James Thurston continues to put on a clinic. And nights like this, James Thurston really comes to his own. He's not the main focus when it comes to all of tonight's action. Right now, the number 4 machine, he might know that, but he always tends to put on these dominant races when the spotlight is generally away from him. His first win this season, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, won by half a lap over Andrew Cootie, 15-second advantage in a green flag run that went just about 55 laps. So for James Thurston, he knows what it takes to put on that dominant performance that keeps drivers and fans alike talking about this Ford Mustang. And right now, doing just that with about a 3-second lead over River Page. Then you go back and you'll see Jacob Wilkerson and Max Molina side by side yet again. Now Molina's got momentum and goes down to the bottom side of the track, trying to lunge through 1 and 2. And early on, seeing the fight progress. There's Wilkerson up top, Max Molina on the bottom side, and already they'll fight once again. And we'll take a look at the bottom right your screen once more and get that onboard camera perspective from the driver of the 45. Looking now at Max Molina's onboard camera, and defending season champion. He got it done in season 2, looking to go for it again in season 3. And number 45 machine we're looking on with right now, he's going to come down the back straightaway, then come down the front again. And right now he's got some time to make up relative to championship rival Jacob Wilkerson. He's about 0.3 of a second back as it stands. And And you'll see on the FTN battle cam, he'll take it high, very slight movement of the wheel, and now he's got the speed to get right back up to Jacob Wilkerson. That backstretch momentum gives him about a tenth of a second back, and now he's got to find out to keep getting those tenths further and further away. He was going, and now trying to get back into the limelight and maybe get that championship spot back for his own. And now as we look away from the battle camera, the fight progresses further on back. You can see there's going to be Joey Stone working down low on Michael Deitch, and right now is going to be Joey Stone in the Kick Select number 8 machine. Watching tonight, we know there's a lot of attention in the Kick community from one of the biggest motorsport streamers on that platform, Joey Stone. Right now running in 10th. He's been a big ambassador for the Kick streaming brand, a developing platform for live streaming content, much like what we see here on YouTube or Twitch alike. However, Joey Stone, a pioneer in the Kick platform, and you'll see that green machine trying to get a few more spots during this green flag run. Right now, Joey Stone runs in the 10th position. He's got Andrew Cootie right there ahead of him, and right now for Cootie, 3 wins this season, all coming at road courses. He won at Sonoma, one of the Circuit of the Americas, and then one at Watkins Glen. He has not yet been able to get it done at an oval all season long. It's been his Achilles heel all throughout his FORL career. Only 1 win in the oval, and he has 5 career victories. So keep that in mind. He's one of the winningest drivers all time. However, has only once been able to get it done at a left turning circuit. That was Daytona, which was his season 2 debut. Ever since then, has not been able to get it done at any oval circuit, despite coming very close, most recently at Kansas in a debacle that went the way of Alex Jones. He's not had it just yet, and he's still trying to find it. And tonight, what a way it would be to break out and get that inaugural oval win on the campaign when it matters the most. It just doesn't look like that's going to be the case right now. Running in 9th for the Andrew Cootie crew. They're behind Michael Cormetis, Alex Jones, then going to be 7th, and Jackson Cars in 6th. Look further up once again, and now it's going to be Max Molina 4/10 of a second back on Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson right now going to be running in the 3rd spot with River Page 2nd, and then James Thurston in the lead. Thurston leads by 2.5 seconds over River Page. And 1-2 right now for the part-time crew. Up in front, it's going to be James Thurston, who was your regular season champion. He was knocked out in the round of 16 after a heartbreaking loss to Andrew Cootie in Watkins Glen. That was a make-or-break night for his team. We're not able to get it done. It was a 2nd-place finish after leading 38 of 40 laps. And as a result, James Thurston, ever since then, part-time, has a win in this playoff system. However, does not matter much when he was not able to get it done in that opening round. Suspended after Richmond, and as a result was not able to get the necessary points to come back up, and just like that, it's James Thurston. Huge advantage. Page going to be 2nd, Jacob Wilkerson then in 3rd. It looks like there's going to be a little more action with 4th and 5th right now. Max Molina sees his teammate Ethan Workman right behind, and for DeHub Motorsport, the acquisition of Max Molina mid-season, a very, very important deal for this team, as he's one of the best drivers in all of FORL Cup Series history, one of the winningest as a matter of fact, and after a 5-win campaign last season in Season 2, of course, he was able to come back, multiple wins this season as well, and he's actually able to get a playoff victory when it came down to the last great Coliseum, Bristol. He had the momentum heading in. Of course, short tracks where he came back into his form, and ever since then, he's been a very consistent top 5 driver to end the season. Right now, he's only about 1 second behind the overall championship leader, and that's Jacob Wilkerson, so keep that in mind. 24 laps in out of 140. He might not be up there right now, but there's a lot of time to find out whether or not Jacob Wilkerson will hold on. If another driver will get through, we could see a late race sprint, could see some troubles otherwise, and right now, pit strategy is still about halfway into this first cycle. We'll see pit stop become a more abundant factor at about lap 45, lap 50. That's when we'll begin to see drivers come in, get their tires, get their fuel, and that's when the race will change drastically, because right now everyone running on the same cycle, so give or take everyone's going to be on the lead lap almost regardless of what happens. Hunter Bogdan 1 lap down. It's also Ross Corlett due to an incident. He's 20 laps down. However, rest of the field as it stands is on the lead lap and more or less running on the same strategy, so very little spread as opposed to how it will be at as the night progresses. Now, we've seen races here in the FORL Cup Series where 6, 7 drivers come home on the lead lap, and that's just the nature of strategy sometimes, because if you get that advantage and then there's a caution, you're stuck on the lead lap, which is a good thing for you. Most of the field might not be there. They might be caught 1, 2, 3 laps down, and as such, you got to pay close attention to how the strategy plays out. You always want to be on that lead lap no matter what happens. So for Andrew Cootie and company, Joey Stone, Andrew Cootie in particular, running 9th and 10th. It's a riskier spot than Max Molina's 5th or Jacob Wilkerson's 3rd. This final 4 needs to stick together for any fair shot of the championship between the 4 of them. Right now, Wilkerson's got the advantage, about 1.5 seconds over Max Molina, and your dominant driver all season long. And Jacob Wilkerson has the edge, and he's hoping lead the way as they come through once again, 27 laps in, out of 140. James Thurston's beginning to lose some time in terms of his race lead. You'll see further back in the frame now, River Page is gaining more and more. That time by 1/10 of a second quicker than that of your race leader. 32.823 for River Page, 32.929 for James Thurston. And as such, these two drivers now going to be fighting at the head of the field amongst themselves, because if you go back from River Page, there's about a 4-second gap to Jacob Wilkerson, and Wilkerson is 4 seconds behind your race leader. He's got the championship lead. A race win would be fantastic. However, right now it is not mandatory for winning the championship, and as such, this Toyota Camry going to be running strong inside of the podium. But right now, that's the most important part. Stay ahead of Max Molina. There's Molina once again running in 5th, and it looks like after getting that great start qualifying up in front, long run pace not going his way, and as such, Wilkerson's got the advantage. Max Molina, not so much. That's how they roll 29 laps in out of 140. 29 laps through as it stands. The Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale kicks off with some fantastic racing, mostly going to be clean. Only one incident to kick off the night, but no caution, and as such, we've kept green to open up this race. Looks like further back in the field, some close battles. Alex Jones going to be now fighting with Jackson Carr, and take a look on the quarter panel camera here, that number 55. Alex Jones making time and making it quick. One-time race winner this season, and he got it done at Kansas just a few weeks ago. As of recent, Alex Jones has been the best he's, of course, performed all season long. So Jones, as it stands, running in the 7th spot, looking to take that 6th position as he comes down the front straightaway, gets right up to the back bumper, but does not have enough speed to make the move just yet. Jones drops down low once again, and they're all eyeing Max Molina too. So if it's going to be Alex Jones who gets by Jackson Carr, he might be able to get by another driver within the next few laps, because Molina losing time is slowly but surely and losing speed. That time by, he was not quicker than anyone ahead of him on the track, and he was not quicker than anyone behind him until you hit Andrew Cootie, and Cootie right now is in 10th. So very, very big loss of speed in the past few laps for Max Molina. However, he's trailing back up to the back bumper of Ethan Workman, and that time by, he gains a substantial amount on his teammate, about a 1/10.5, so it could be a battle for 4th once again, as slowly but surely looks like Molina is reeling in Jacob Wilkerson once more, and you'll see now, there goes Workman down to the bottom of the track. He lets Molina go, and now 1.2 seconds separating Wilkerson and Molina. It was about a 1.5 seconds, 5 laps prior. However, that looks to be changing once again, and you can't really tell what's going to be solid as the night goes on. Different numbers, progression, of course, lap after lap, going to change who's where and when they're at that certain position. Right now, 4th for Molina, 3rd for Wilkerson. Advantage, of course, going to go to Jacob, but that could change as the night goes on, and 33 laps in out of 140, going to be very tricky to split up the strategy in regards to how we look at it, because drivers will have to go about 45, 46, 47 laps to get it in as a 2-stop strategy. Maybe now you got to set yourself up to go longer on the first run and maybe even longer on the second, so you have yourself new equipment to end this night. Now coming in the pit road, this time by, it looks like Wesley Kutznoff going to have trouble, and he's coming down and in very early. Wesley drops through, makes it to the pit access road, and that number 02 machine coming through this time by with Michael Deitch, 34 laps in out of 140, and already pit stop's going to be in play. Wesley Kutznoff comes in, so does a Michael Deitch, and just like that, pit road gets busy with Ross Corlett getting back on the track, 29 laps down out of 34. Now we're going to see some strategy calls being made. Andrew Cootie comes down to pit road this time by first of the year championship for contenders to make it in. That's the number 9 machine you're watching there as he comes down the pit road. It's going to be the number 9 taking strategy calls first. 35 laps in out of 140. It's a risk to come in early, and now setting the tone for the rest of his championship rivals. There's Andrew Cootie making his way in. 4 tires and fuel, that's expected as River Page comes through this time by. Second place driver makes the move in, brings Michael Cormetis, Alex Jones, and Jackson Carr at the same time. And as Andrew Cootie gets back on the way, River Page makes his way in, and pit road is going to get very busy for the first cycle of the night. 36 laps in out of 140. Another bundle of drivers make their way in, and now we've got ourselves a field full of drivers down on pit road. James Thurston still leads the way. He's going to come in this time by, though, and now as Thurston makes his way in, it looks to be new race leader in Jacob Wilkerson. And Wilkerson instead going to opt to not go for the race lead. Max Molina makes up time big on the way into pit road. Number 45 machine bringing himself in. He's going to be with the 43 of Wilkerson as well. Now pit road is going to become even busier with 2 of your championship 4 coming in at once. Molina, he dove into pit road to try to get that minor edge on his rival there. And now Max is going to make his way in, trying to do something different here. That might be the way to go as Dustin Pickle comes off the pit road. There's another driver off in the McConaughey setup shot machine. James Thurston back on the way. Ethan Workman going to be still getting service while Molina comes out right behind Wilkerson at the line. Oh, so close, and they'll be side by side. Molina wrecks Wilkerson, and they'll go around spinning. It's going to be contact on pit road, and 2 drivers wrecking each other. Caution is out. Yellow flag will fly. Molina, Wilkerson on pit road, and they will make contact. Caution is out. 38 laps in out of 140, and that could have been much, much worse, but Molina and Wilkerson will hit, and pit road sees a frenzy for the first time tonight. Instant replay will bring you back, and we'll watch it once again. And you saw them coming out of pit road. You saw how close they were, how aggressive that exit was for both drivers. And taking a look at this on the overhead shot, you'll see Molina, he wiggles, comes up into Wilkerson, and they'll make contact. Molina goes up on the racing circuit. Wilkerson ends up in the grass, and it looks like Ethan Workman splits it right down the middle. That could have been substantially worse for both drivers. Luckily, no major damage. However, certainly not a good look for either, as we'll take a look inside the cockpit of Max Molina here, try to find out what happened in his perspective, because it looks like he was the one who initiated the contact. Definitely getting loose on one of the bumps on the way out, and just in the heat of the moment, not understanding the track surface, and as such, Max Molina hitting Jacob Wilkerson. Both drivers going to get caught up in the act, and that's going to change how we're going to see our pit strategy, because keep in mind, now we're going to have ourselves a major change in who's got the advantage being on the lead lap and who doesn't. This means now that Henry Kaloff, Chance Parker, James Thurston, Joey Stone, and the like all have the edge. Andrew Cootie going to be stuck 1 lap down. Max Molina looks to be back on the lead lap. Jacob Wilkerson does not look to be with them, so this could be the end of a championship chance already. A bit premature to say that. It looks like no, they'll all be waved around this time by, and unlike the usual rule, it looks like given the situation, drivers will be waved around and get back on the lead lap. Just like that, trouble, it's going to rise, but it looks like overall every driver gets away. 40 laps in out of 140. James Thurston is your leader again. River Page is in second. Ethan Workman is in third. Michael Cormetis is fourth, and Joey Stone rounds out the top 5. Now the advantage goes to the number 8 machine of Joey Stone. He is your championship leader as it stands, and the Kick Picks number 8 machine is now the championship leader for the first time all night long. Workman has had himself up in front all night long. He's seen his teammate and Max Molina have the championship lead. Jacob Wilkerson's had the championship lead, and now the number 8 for Kick Streaming leads the way. It is all Joey Stone up in front. The Kick team watching on his broadcast, which will be live on Kick. It's Joey Stone who's got a lot of attention behind his championship run tonight, coming down to pit road this time by. It looks like he'll have to go down to pit road regardless, which will give way to Andrew Cootie being right behind Max Molina, and as such, Joey Stone comes in. James Thurston leads the way, and now 41 laps in, 100 laps to go this season. Time running out for all drivers, it's now about capitalizing on what you got, as strategies changed already. Caution number 1 for Wilkerson and Molina, and we're set to get back to the action in just 2 laps time. And a fantastic season ender this could be. A concluding race, 21st and final of Season 3. The Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale begins with some chaos. 2 championship rivals getting into each other after pit road. Pit road exit sometimes sees the worst of mistakes, and for 2 drivers trying to rush out, Max Molina, who's now in 10th, Jacob Wilkerson now in 13th, both of which are going to make that contact and certainly not going to be happy with one another. And see if we check the iRacing communications if anything happened. Looks like for these drivers, nothing in terms of iRacing chat. Certainly some communication though between the teams right now as PBR and the Hub Motorsport, the teams involved. Max Molina, a former PBR driver, and looks like getting involved with one of his former teammates there in Wilkerson. Contact early. However, now as they come back to the green flag next time by, we are set to go back racing. Jacob Wilkerson, Max Molina involved in your first caution, those that went around spinning. However, this time by, they will be back on the lead lap and set to return to competition very soon. Now, Shelton Ponder asking if we're going to have a 2024 season start date. As it stands, no specifics. However, we are expected to return middle of January, if not very early February. So keep that in mind. FORL Season 4 coming at you in 2024. No plans of stopping tonight. Is only going to be another chapter written in the history books of the Flat Out Racing League. Check back in February for more action regarding FORL. FTN, though, will be live all throughout the winter months, and be sure to stick with us here. Over 1,300 subscribers on the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. We'd love to have you watching every night we're live. Tomorrow we'll be live again with the IORA Cup Series. A lot of familiar drivers. James Thurston, your Season 3 IORA Cup Series Championship winner, he'll be there at Talladega, and a lot of the drivers in this field will be there as well. Coming through this time by iRacing official pace car is set to drop in. Pace truck makes the move down low. James Thurston has that race lead, and here we go again. Gonna be Thurston leading the way for the first restart of the night. Green flag is out, led by the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport number 4. And caution out array with big trouble. Joey Stone looks to be involved. Championship drivers and championship implications. Molina gets away. He's got trouble. Joey Stone as well. Yellow flag flies once more, and we've got trouble again. It might be a championship run ending before our eyes. Joey Stone sees problems, and it looks like it's going to be Max Molina involved as well. Championship 4 competitor Andrew Cootie looks to have gotten out of it, but Joey Stone not quite as lucky. Take a look back on this replay, and we'll take a look at what caused it. Jackson Carr stacking up with Molina there, and it's going to be Joey Stone up top. Molina goes 3. Wesley Kutznoff comes right back up top with Jackson Carr, and as such, they'll end up piled on the wall. Max Molina is going to drift down low with contact again from Jacob Wilkerson. However, I think Joey Stone this time by gets the absolute worst of it, and we'll ride on board with him once again to see how it was inside the cockpit, because this is a crushing blow to a championship chance. Damage, and major damage. You'll see it's a brutal hit upon impact. Instant replay shows you that much and then some. And not only is that damage, but that's track position. Now for Joey Stone, he's got to fight back with very little left in terms of the engine. And that damage, major. Very hard to come back from if there's anything left. And Joey Stone will see trouble. Yellow flag is out. And just like that, second caution. 45 laps in out of 140. We'll be back underway, but not without some controversy here, as it's going to be James Thurston leading the way. Ethan Workman in second. River Page then in third. And Henry Kaloff position number 4. Chance Parker rounds out the top 5. And after all the trouble, Andrew Cootie now leads the championship running, and it's the number 9 machine with the advantage all of a sudden. Andrew Cootie, who I've not talked about all too much tonight, been the quietest of all those in the championship hunt. He's been solid so far, has done exactly what's been asked of him in terms of keeping the car clean. He was running around where, of course, Joey Stone was just a few laps prior. However, now that number 9 machine looks to have the advantage over even Jacob Wilkerson and Max Molina. A quiet force tonight. it's still Andrew Cootie fighting for what he's got inside the cockpit, and we'll ride on board with him when we come back to green. Next time by, 45 laps in out of 140, it is still James Thurston's race lead. Ethan Workman got by for second over River Page, but River is still right behind the driver, the number 4, and those two were running very well up in front as the top two beforehand. As they come by the line this time around, it looks like it's going to be 2 laps to green indeed. 46 laps in out of 140. Joey Stone's going to come down to pit road for extensive damage repair, but still not looking great, and you'll see that hood damage is severe. And we'll try to take a look inside the cockpit and take a listen more specifically to see what's going on regarding engine damage. And Joey Stone right now looking to get to grips with what he's got left inside the cockpit. It looks like he's only getting up to about 8,700 revs a minute when it comes to his top speed in the straightaways. We're going to calculate it this time by, but it looks to be coming out to about 165, 170 at the very most. Comes down this time by 170 before he backs it down. Looks to get up to 175. As high as it can possibly go. We'll see whether or not the aerodynamic damage is enough to deter this number 8. Stone is still in it here. Keep that in mind. He's 11th, only 1 spot behind Max Molina, so not all hope is lost, and it looks like your championship 4 drivers are separate now by 5 positions. Michael Deitch is in the middle of all 4, and he's got 2 ahead of him, 2 behind him, so he's in very close company with the best in the business here as James Thurston takes him to the line once again. 47 laps in at a 140. It is now 1 lap to green for your second restart of the day. Going to be coming this time by with Thurston advantageous, Ethan Workman then in second, River Page is going to be third, and Henry Kaloff then in fourth. Chance Parker, position number 5. That's the way they roll here in the Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale. Thurston chooses to go way low, and he's going to find himself on the bottom of the track to choose to that bottom side. Ethan Workman looks to go up to the higher groove, and we'll see whether or not that's going to be validated. Looks like he instead goes low. Thing was, James Thurston went so low, everyone looked to be going high for him. 23 opts to get behind your former race leader. River Page gets that second spot right back, and Andrew Cootie in that number 9 leads the championship race now. Let's ride on board with the number 9 this time by bottom right of your screen, and it'll be Andrew Cootie. We're rolling through the gears with, and take a look at this as the iRacing official pace car will come through for the second restart of the night. Trucking down, it's the pace truck on pit road. Thurston back in the lead. Cootie's your championship leader right now. Green flag flies again for the second restart of the night. Back on our way from Miami. And watching once more, there's going to be that number 9 of Andrew Cootie, middle of your frame. He currently finds himself running in 6th and does still have that advantage over Jacob Wilkerson, Max Molina as well. Very close call here with Chance Parker wiggling, and it almost looked like contact there with Max Molina. And as all these drivers continue to stay as close as they've been with one another, risky ground for any driver to be fighting through. Looks like that's going to deter Max Molina, but does not deter Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson goes down low, tries to get the spot, has to slot right back in, and now 3 teams going against each other for the championship. It's going to be CCH Motorsports up in front, them going to be the number 43 running for Paintbrush Racing, and the Hub Motorsports and Max Molina now going to be side by side once again. Take a look now as Molina's got that advantage way down low. The FedEx Express machine going to take it down to the bottom and try to rock it through. 50 laps in, Max Molina is going to see now Michael Cormetis in the mix, and as Mikey tries to go through wide, doesn't have enough left in him, and now Molina's got a minor advantage down the back straightaway. It's going to be toss and turn, tug of war. There goes Max Molina way down bottom once again. Andrew Cootie's still going to have that championship lead though, and the way things are going, it could be Andrew Cootie winning a championship without an oval victory. Not to say he has not won this season. He has 3 wins on the campaign, however, every one of which came at the road courses. The only road courses on the schedule, won by Andrew Cootie. Now he's coming up to the back bumper of Alex Jones. He goes high on Jones. It looks like Molina and Wilkerson once again getting oh so close to each other, and it's a very risky spot to be in for the both of them. Molina going to cross over on the number 43. Wilkerson's going to get very close to making contact once again. They've touched multiple times before already. Who's to say they won't do it again? Wilkerson comes down the front stretch with a head full of steam. There's Michael Cormenis going down low, and Mikey blocks the run for Max Molina, gives that number 45 the advantage. And through 1 and 2, Michael Cormenis going to bail out Max Molina, and big, not intentional it appeared to be, but Mikey's racing for his own cause, and now tries to fight with Jacob Wilkerson at the same time. Alex Jones goes up top. It's going to be the 045 machine for Jaw Racing, caught up and locked up with the wall right there, and now it's going to be another buffer for Max Molina. The big question is, will anyone get back up to Andrew Cootie? Cootie's running in fourth, and now looking as good as he's been all night long. This is about the best we've seen out of this number 9 team, and all of a sudden it is Andrew Cootie out in front leading the championship race. And for a driver who was held so highly in season 2, he was one of the championship favorites going into the first ever running for him full-time in the FORL Cup Series. Season 2, he started the season as a full-time driver, won the first 2 races, and had reason to believe he would win the first 3. And after the 2 races that he won back-to-back, he did not have as much luck for the remainder of the season, but still had the performance, decided to opt out of the league, opted out of the playoffs, and as such, came back with a new vision this season, hoping to return to his successes of the past, and he did so almost immediately. He was able to get himself back on the way with a Sonoma victory in his second race of the season, and then from there went at the Circuit of the Americas, came from behind and got it done at Watkins Glen, and has been able to point his way in successfully every round to make it to the final 4, and now 55 laps through. It is Andrew Cootie, your race leader. He's not, but he is your championship leader, and now has that advantage by just about a second, as Max Molina can't get by Michael Cormenis just yet. Looks like now, only thing stopping Mikey would be, of course, if Max Molina comes back and takes that spot right from him. Cormenis now going to be running inside the top 5 for the time being. It's going to be back and forth between every driver, and the thing is, Michael Cormenis might be running inside the top 5. He's not with the top 5. He's running 13th right now, 1 lap down. Mikey going to find himself in that Coca-Cola machine, 56 laps in, not on the lead lap, caught out by strategy. However, he's got a lot of speed, and now, even though he's a lap machine, chooses to run with the best of them, knowing he's got pace and he's got pull, and right now is pulling Max Molina down the straightaway, hoping to maybe get something going here to catch up to Andrew Cootie. Still about a half second separating he and the number 9, while Ethan Workman runs alone in 3rd, and it's going to be isolated to River Page then in 2nd, with James Thurston 7/10 of a second ahead. Your race leader once again, and trying to get through with a dominant race victory tonight. James Thurston running into the shadows and getting away from the whole field. He has not been the focus for your championship rivals. However, this is the focus, side by side again for a brief moment. Jacob Wilkerson almost takes it there on Max Molina. Once again, though, that number 45 machine going to go up top, and maybe side by side advantage might just go to Max Molina here if he can just get the run down the back stretch and the front stretch once more. It looks like at the line, Molina's got it, but it's going to be Wilkerson trying to find every possible inch of room. Can't find it through 1 and 2. Going to be blocked off once again. Nicely done there by the 45 of Max Molina to cut off that line and keep the speed for his own. The FedEx Express Toyota Camry's now coming through with Michael Cormenis. Take a look at Mikey, and as Cormenis comes through, now Andrew Cootie in trouble. 3 of your final 4 all conjoined, and it's the closest they've been all night long. Cootie's got the advantage. Molina, your defending champion, is now 1 spot behind. Wilkerson's in the wall, and they're continuing to make contact. Once again, now you'll see Max Molina drop down low with the pressure from Jacob Wilkerson. Jacob takes it down to the bottom. Now Molina's going to take it right there too. Cootie's got the advantage down the back straightaway with all that speed and momentum, so Max Molina slots right back in. And for now, cannot get that pass, but Molina comes down in once again, trying to get away from Jacob Wilkerson is the big goal right now. Cootie, who has not been the quickest of all the drivers tonight, might not be the big end goal of getting by. However, if you get through that number 43 machine and stay in front of him, that's a big deal, because Wilkerson, no matter where we race all season long, he's had a tendency getting that speed and keeping it all throughout the night. And if he's on, he is on. But right now, Andrew Cootie is going to hold on and maybe go 3 wide. There goes Jacob Wilkerson, and they are 3 wide for the championship. Cootie stays high. Wilkerson's got momentum, though, and he's got the speed to maybe go for a 2 for 1. Coming down the front stretch this time by Wilkerson blocks Cootie. Molina's got speed as well, but it's going to be Jacob Wilkerson from 3rd in the championship up to 4th in 1 lap. New driver at the top of the championship charts, Jacob Wilkerson with a big move, and that's exactly what he needs to do. And that is one of those textbook maneuvers you gotta make in real time here. Molina, he did not expect it. Andrew Cootie didn't see that one coming, and now it's gonna be Jacob Wilkerson leading the championship race. Once again, it's the 43 holding his own and now having the championship to himself, at least for now. Now we'll see whether or not Max Molina can come right back, because Max did have a lot of speed in the most recent laps. Looked to be about as quick as this number 43, maybe even quicker. However, the question is whether he can perform at that level consistently from this point onward, as now it's going to be Jacob Wilkerson with all that momentum, not only in terms of getting the pass, but that's got to be one of those moves that boosts your confidence as a driver. And Wilkerson going to try to work off that as long as he possibly can. And now as 3 of the final 4 are conjoined, you'll see further back in the field Joey Stone. Substantial difficulties, and that number 8 machine coming apart at the seams. Contact with Wesley Kuznov coming right up into that number 8. And as such, Joey Stone now going to be running 12th and last of your final 4 competitors. And Joey Stone, the rookie, who's also inside of this final 4, he's had a lot of trouble in terms of running tonight, given all that damage. And it's a given, of course, that this damage will make a driver much slower. But in a night like this, you cannot afford to get damage early. No fast repairs in the FORL Cup Series, and as a result, for Joey Stone, nothing more that he can do all night long aside, of course, to live with the damage and keep on racing. He will not quit early, and that's not what he's done all season long. Giving up with still more than half the race to go would just about be the worst decision possible for a driver in a championship race, because you really never know what's going to happen. Things could change, drivers could get involved in wrecks in front of you, and that could give you an opportunity once again to fight for that position up in front. So keep that in mind right now, as Max Molina is going to find himself right behind Jacob Wilkerson. Is still 3 of your championship 4, running now 4th, 5th, and 6th. River Page is going to get back up to James Thurston, and a battle for the race lead may begin here. While these 2 drivers have not battled all night long, River Page has slowly but surely crept up on James Thurston, more so in the most recent laps, and now River looking to go back to victory lane since the first time, of course, he did so was Milwaukee last season, and trying to break that drought of nearly a full season and a half. At 66 laps in, out of 140, James Thurston holds the top spot. Only 2 retirees on the night in Jackson Carr and Wesley Kuznov. Rest of the field still going through. 66 laps in, out of 140 here in the Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale. And as the battle for lead continues here on FTN, if you've enjoyed all tonight's action in the championship race here in the FORL Cup Series, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Last season, we broke our all-time record in terms of stream likes, a 30-like broadcast. Now, we'd love to hit that mark. We had 9 before we went live tonight, so we know we are definitely capable of getting up to that all-time marker. So if you leave a thumbs up on the stream and subscribe to the channel, that support is immensely appreciated. It's the best way to directly support not only all these drivers, not only this league, but the entire FTN broadcasting crews. We plan to bring you racing all throughout 2024 and beyond. So right now, for Andrew Cootie, Max Molina, Jacob Wilkerson, all fighting here in the center of your frame, it's Wilkerson once again breaking away, and 68 laps in out of 140, the winningest driver all season long, looking to be the winner of the championship 2 seasons in a row. Last season, it was Max Molina who came home with 5 5 victories, and he was able to get it done with a championship victory at Phoenix to walk off the season and come home in triumphant fashion as your champion for Season 2. However, when it comes to Jacob Wilkerson right now, he's trying to one-up Max Molina and go for what could be a 6-win season, if not 7. Right now for Wilkerson, he has that championship lead. While he does not have a major advantage, it still could be enough to hold on until the very end. And right now for Wilkerson, that looks to be the case. He now has about a quarter of a second lead, 69 laps in out of 140. Nicely done so far for Wilkerson, and nicely done so far for a dominant James Thurston as he comes down the line to make it lap number 70. Halfway down, halfway to go next time by. And now, past the 50% mark in our final race of 2023. 2 great seasons of action. Of course, Season 2, which came to a close earlier this year. And of course, this 3rd season has given us more memories than any other higher level of competition. More action-packed racing, longer green flag runs, cleaner, longer runs, better racing, and more fantastic moments. As you'll see right now, River Page is going to be losing time. He comes down to the apron of the track, and it looks like he might be retiring from this race. River Page is going to drop down and below. Looks like Page might just call it for a night, and it looks like that he does. Goes down a pit road by force, and it looks like River Page is going to end up on pit road before it's all said and done. River looks to end this season prematurely, running in 2nd, and Page now down and in. Rest of the field keeps on going. 71 laps to go, and now going down to 70 flat. James Thurston now really has no competition. Look back 4 seconds to a very close call with Ethan Workman, and your second place driver has to pull it all back together in a moment's notice. He almost went down sliding into the inside retaining wall. Luckily for that number 23, that's not what happened, but we're going to lose a lot of time. And now Jacob Wilkerson continuing to gain and maybe getting up there for a battle for 2nd, and maybe that will slow Wilkerson down, because keep in mind who is in that 2nd spot. Ethan Workman. Workman is Max Molina's teammate, and as such we might see some team games begin to be played here. Haven't seen all too much. It looks like we will not now. It's going to be Ethan Workman down to pit road, makes his way in. Just like that, going to be Workman going down to the bottom of the track, and just like that, pit road back open once again. Wilkerson, Max Molina also going to be going at it right now, and looks like these 2 drivers now separate by 0.4 of a second. Andrew Cootie about 1 second back, and Cootie's going to find himself in the 4th spot here with Alex Jones going down to the lower side. There's the number 045 machine, and Jaw Racing gets back inside of the top 5 for a brief moment there. It looks like Andrew Cootie could have lost it. Luckily keeps it back together. Just like that, putting the pieces together once again for the number 9 as Andrew Cootie holds on but loses a spot. Pit road busy. Ethan Workman down and in, and the number 23 gets right back on the way. And with Andrew Cootie advantageous, 67 laps to go, James Thurston is still going to find himself leading the way. Cootie advantageous in regards to getting that run on the restart, but ever since then has lost more and more time. Now the question is whether or not Max Molina can make more back up. Looks like that time through he gains about 1/10 of a second in terms of the intervals. However, not much of a quicker lap. Those 2 almost dead even lap after lap now, and you'll see running up top for Molina trying to get that momentum with the progressive banking here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. That is a viable strategy, and with Homestead's very unique configuration, the banking at the top of the track can give a major boost in terms of speed and momentum, almost unseen in any other track at such a degree. There's a grip strip right at the top of the track, and you might see the darker portion of the asphalt, and that rubber being laid down allows for drivers to get close to the wall, use it as sort of a pocket, and as such you get to fight further up the track, get more speed out of it lap after lap, and you'll see Molina this time by wiggling just a bit and not going to get the benefit of all that risky driving he's been up to, trying to make up more and more time. So Molina, he's going to try it there, but does not look to succeed, as now 0.6 of a second up. Jacob Wilkerson, biggest gain he's made throughout the entirety of the night in just 1 lap, and 64 laps to go, with Wilkerson gaining huge at 77 laps in. James Thurston leads the field by nearly 7 full seconds. Michael Deitch will come down to pit road this time by cycling in from the 7th position. So Deitch is going to come through, making his way in for CB Fabricating, and the number 57 team is now going to have their potentially penultimate pit stop of the season, and James Thurston comes in this time by as well. No trouble for Thurston on entry. For Jacob Wilkerson, the call is to come down to pit road this time by. For Max Molina, it is not. So Molina's going to find himself now taking the race lead, and just like that, Max Molina up in front once again. And the number 45 machine going to do things different here with 63 laps to go. So Max Molina going to try something here to maybe make a call that saves his championship chances. And we're going to ride on board with this number 45 machine momentarily, as it looks like now the FedEx 45 has a different strategy call in play and has that race lead too, as the FedEx Express Toyota Camry comes to the stripe with only a total now of 62 laps to go. We're looking now on board with your race leader, 62 laps remaining for Max Molina, defending season champion of the FORL Cup Series, and 79 laps in, Joey Stone in jeopardy being put one lap down. There he is in that number 8 machine, and Joey Stone now going to find himself in even more trouble if he goes one lap down before Molina has his pit stop. But there's a sign that there's just not enough speed in that number 8. Looks like troubles have continued on all night long, and unfortunately for Joey Stone, no real sign of stopping. He needs a lot of luck in regards to getting back up there with the remainder of the field. So far, looks like after the early scuffle with Molina and Wilkerson, not much else exciting has happened for your championship rivals, and they've been able to keep it calm and keep it clean ever since that point. So looks like a lot more of that calm racing up in front, keeping a rhythm, keeping everything much smoother, and that's going to benefit Max Molina right now. As you will see, he's still your race leader. As it stands, we have now 61 laps remaining, 61 to go. This time by going to come down to an even 60, and pit road going to be busy once again. This time by Michael Cormetis, Joey Stone, both making their way in. One lap down for the both of them, and Andrew Cootie went down 4 laps ago, coming back out now, and he's going to make a change as every driver getting what could be their penultimate pit stop of the season. Michael Cormetis going to immediately disconnect from the circuit there. We'll see whether or not that is temporary, as pit road is still active, but Michael Cormetis does not look to be. So 80 laps in, Mikey might just bow down for the final time this season, as your leader in this race is your leader in the championship, Max Molina, holding on strong with a total of 59 laps to go. And now, with the number 45 up in front, it's Henry Kaloff running in second, Chance Parker running third, Dustin Pickles going to be running fourth, and James Thurston once again rounds out in the top 5 as he has cycled his way up to the top 5 once again. Looks like no stop in Thurston, as it looks like one driver goes in for a stop, and that's Max Molina. Championship leader comes down and in this time through, and with Max making his way down to the bottom side of the circuit, it's another championship implication moment, and this could be make or break for Max Molina's night. He has a much fresher set of tire to work with in the penultimate run, which may transform his race from, of course, not having the tire advantage to definitely having the upper hand in terms of speed. Been on pit road for now about 28 seconds, and this time by Jacob Wilkerson going to be coming through. This is a number 43 of Wilkerson, and take a look now at the number 45 of Max Molina. He gets things going. Wilkerson coming by. Molina does get past, and now he's got the speed and the newer tires to help him out. 5 laps younger. Is that enough to play in the favor of the number 45? He's got to get 2 spots back now and has to get about 5 seconds back to this number 43 of Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson's got the championship lead once again with 57 laps to go, and now it's going to be Henry Kaloff coming down to pit road. This time by Henry Kaloff is in. James Thurston leads the way once again, and Dustin Pickle, Ross Corlett, both on pit road. In addition, there's River Page still on the pit road, but he's not chosen to come back out on track. Dustin Pickle and Hunter Bogdan now going to be there. Hunter is 4 laps down. It looks like it's going to be Joey Stone caught 1 lap down with his substantial damage. Not much else that can be done as Joey continues to drive. You'll see that front end is bent in. And with damage like that, you just gotta hope something goes wrong for the rest of them, as Max Molina is slow and much slower. Big time trouble for Max Molina, and he's gonna be limping around the track. And the reason being It looks like he just about lost it, gets back going. We're going to find out. Your instant replay will show you Max Molina might have just seen his championship chances go right down the drain as he nearly ends up out of steam entirely. And you'll see wiggling through turn 2, and he locks it down, saves it after a 360, but does not get the caution, and that is, of course, very unfortunate for his case. But a 360 on the racing surface with a championship contender does not bring out the caution, and Max Molina not going to be happy about that one. Of course, as the 45 locks it down, he's now going to be far behind Jacob Wilkerson, 15 seconds back, which would mean that Jacob Wilkerson now has a major upper hand of the championship, one he did not have before. All of a sudden, Wilkerson and the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse team have the edge, and nobody else can take that away save for Andrew Cootie. 3 seconds up on Cootie. Wilkerson has that title race lead at 86 laps in out of 140, making it now to 87. Jacob Wilkerson now looking to lock down the championship. Mistake from Molina, does not get a necessary caution, and his necessity will not come to fruition, as now Molina's going to have to race hard to get back up there. First driver on the agenda looks to be Michael Dunn. And about the biggest moment of the entire season coming just a few minutes ago, Max Molina going to be losing it at a turn 2, locking it down, going for 360 and going under about 100 miles an hour at the very most. He was going triple digits, but just barely, if anything, losing a substantial amount of time in one lap, and most importantly, one of the most crucial laps all season long. And for the FedEx Express Toyota Camry, it could be a chance at the defense on championship ending right before our eyes. Now it's going to be Max Molina running in 7th here, and while he is still running in a solid position, he's several spots back on Cootie and Wilkerson alike, and if there's anyone else that can get back up, it would have been Molina with that speed he had. And even though he's got newer tires now, they're worn out, he's got a lot more tire wear to worry about on him, and just like that, Jacob Wilkerson going to get away scot-free, and even Andrew Cootie here's got a shot. All of a sudden now the number 9 machine has a bigger advantage than the remainder of the field in terms of getting back up to Jacob Wilkerson. If anyone's going to do it now without a caution, it would most likely be Andrew Cootie. Championship race is not locked up just yet. However, looking very good for Jacob Wilkerson as he now finds himself ahead of Andrew Cootie by 3.5 seconds, 15-second lead over Max Molina, and over a lap ahead of Joey Stone as it stands. Ethan Workman is going to be running in 2nd, and right now he finds himself right behind a battle between lappers here. Dustin Pickle and Chance Parker racing hard, and with Parker going down to the bottom side, rookie stripes and all, 2 drivers who have varying levels of experience. Dustin Pickle racing since season 2, of course, got his first career victory just a few nights back, getting it done in Sin City, and now coming back, not going to go for a back-to-back win the way things are looking in terms of his pace. However, fighting with Chance Parker to stay inside the single digits, so all is well right now in terms of finishing off with big momentum for Dustin Pickle. However, going back to Ethan Workman, he's a whopping 7 seconds behind James Thurston. Goes to show the dominance of Thurston to this point tonight, and 91 laps in, coming out 49 laps to go. How's about we ride on board for a lap with our current race leader, James Thurston, in the number 4. And riding on board with James Thurston, you will see that it looks like every lap, it's a rhythm, it's repetition. He understands the track almost better than anyone else on the platform tonight. James Thurston shows it once again. He's been the king of the Homestead-Miami Speedway for several months, more than a year as a matter of fact, in this circle of drivers. and further extending his opportunity. 48 laps remaining. It's going to be Thurston leading the way, then Ethan Workman in second, Jacob Wilkerson third, Andrew Cootie going to be fourth, and Alex Jones then in fifth. Top five going to be separate now by a total of 16 seconds, with Henry Kaloff then in the sixth spot, Max Molina going to be in seventh, Michael Deitch is in eighth, and Chance Parker then in ninth. Right now, ninth is going to be one lap down. As a matter of fact, only 8 drivers remain on the lead lap. Big gains for certain drivers, of course, including Jacob Wilkerson. Opportunities in abundance now as Andrew Cootie slowly but surely slips into the background, and the winningest driver all season long, once again with the championship lead with 46 laps to go. Doesn't mean it's over for a guy like Andrew Cootie or a guy like Max Molina, but it's going to be a much harder task to achieve here, especially with time running out and only one more pit stop on the table. Expect pit stops within the next 15 odd laps, and that will be the final pit stop cycle of the season at about lap 110. That's going to be it, and that will be the final opportunity to change the course of this race without a caution, which we have not expected to see ever since our second caution and final to this point tonight. We have raced clean and we have raced under green, and that's the way this season, this series will come to a close for 2023. There's Michael Deitch. Michael runs right now in the 8th spot. Max Molina, he's in 7th. Henry Kaloff is in 6th. Alex Jones rounds at the top 5. Andrew Cootie in 4th. Jacob Wilkerson right now runs inside the podium. And then it's going to be Workman and Thurston once again. Right now, the lapper of Dustin Pickle goes up top, as you'll see Jacob Wilkerson catching up to Workman. And it looks like the DeHub Motorsports number 23 machine might see some pressure here as PBR's top driver all season long now getting closer and closer to the second step on the podium. Workman still has himself up in front here in second, but it might be a change in just a few moments' time if Wilkerson continues to race at this pace. And all of a sudden now it's going to be Wilkerson gaining about 4.5 seconds overall on Andrew Cootie in this run. And that's about the time that it's going to take for Cootie to get back in with the race leader, the championship leader, shall we say. Right now, James Thurston out of sight for just about everyone. Thurston leads by 9.5 seconds over the rest of the field. Nobody going to be able to catch that without a major mistake from the number 4. Not expecting to see one from James Thurston as the night goes on. Right now, for Andrew Cootie, he's focusing on the driver who would be closest ahead. Jacob Wilkerson now going to be fighting side by side with Workman. Not much of a fight, and it's going to be easy for Workman to give that spot away, easy for Wilkerson to make the pass, and just like that, Jacob Wilkerson will take another spot, and the 43 machine comes through in the second. Look a bit further back and you'll see one driver back on the circuit, and that's going to be River Page. So River gets back on the way after, of course, being out of this one for 27 laps. He's 27 laps down, and he was your former race leader, getting back in there, and he finds himself back on the circuit right behind Andrew Cootie. And just like that, number 24 machine might get involved in the mix here, so keep it in mind. Cootie's got new tires, or rather he did. Now it's River Page with the youngest set in the entirety of the track, and he is a lap machine. Might just be able to cause some chaos and shift up the strategy. We'll see whether or not River Page is going to run calm to end the season, or if he's got a bit more in store for the rest of the field. 41 laps remaining, this time by Ethan Workman, going to be there in third. About a second back right now on Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson's made time on the entire field except for James Thurston, and unless Thurston's going to become substantially slower in the dying laps, it looks like it'll be his race to lose. But for Jacob Wilkerson and this number 43 team, a team that's been the most dominant ever since the very beginning of the season, this was an outcome of course, the most expected time. Of course, now from Daytona onward, winning the season opener at the Daytona International Speedway, winning the playoff opener, winning the round of 11 opener, and now with the only thing he missed being that round of 7 opener and various wins in between, Wilkerson has been a dominant driver and a force to be reckoned with since this season kicked off. Of course, Daytona, the high banks, but a rookie winning at Daytona, it's happened before. Maybe it wasn't meant for long-term success, but we saw that by the time we got to the halfway point in the season, Wilkerson could have had the 6 wins he does right now, and he could have already had much more than that if things have gone his way every single race. However, Wilkerson's dominance has been, of course, put to some limits. Some drivers getting their way through, making their own dominant performances, getting those good runs in for their own sake, but Jacob Wilkerson, it looks like in the night where it matters most, he is not to be denied. The 43 will come down the front stretch once again now with a total of 38 laps to go, and now needs to hold on with one more pit cycle ahead to win the FORL Cup Series championship. The title will come down to whether or not he can achieve in the final 38 laps, just holding the position he's in. His closest competitor is Andrew Cootie, who right now runs in fourth and is running there with River Page, and those two drivers going to be mixing it up. River gets right by the number 9 machine, and we'll see how close River opts to play it here with Andrew Cootie, as it looks like he's going to lie back just a bit as he goes through the back straightaway and into the front. And Cootie comes side by side yet again, and it's going to right down low with 1 and 2 being in the advantage of Andrew Cootie. They'll both drive up to the top of the track, and River Page not really going to be trying to get away right now. Andrew Cootie giving it his all, but it is clear right now River Page with some trouble goes to the outside of the track, gets in the wall, and he's going to scrape it just a few times. And we'll see how much more River Page can do as he runs now with Andrew Cootie. This could be a risky battle to keep an eye on. We've seen some altercations between these two drivers as the season's gone on, so don't expect it to be a calm fight between these two to end this season. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more in terms of the hostility that's pent up in these final few laps for every driver. There's something you got to say, something you've been feeling. You're going to see it show now, and River Page is going to come once again down the back straightaway with a head full of steam. Momentum is his, and he's look low. Looks like he will go for it, but not quick enough. He's going to get blocked off again by Andrew Cootie. Cootie wiggling, he's going to get very loose, and it could have been trouble. Luckily, it was not, and they're side by side yet again at the stripe, neck and neck. This battle is going to become a continuous fight to look out for, and it looks like Jacob Wilkerson runs away. There's still no stopping River Page here, 27 laps down, and he still has the fight in the Miata Gang's number 24 as he still runs down the backstretch dead even with Andrew Cootie. It's Cootie who's really getting the workout here as he's trying to understand what he can do. River Page clearly has a younger set of tire and could run quicker, but looks like right now he's just fighting for the sake of battling for a position. And as they come across the line again, still side by side, and it's going to be the McConey setup shop number 9 right down low, and River Page still up on the top. As these two drivers continue to fight, you'll see Hunter Bogdan there with Ethan Workman. Bogdan in the wall. He's going to let that number 23 right by, so nothing major there. Looking back again to Cootie and River Page, and they are still side by side, close to making contact once again. The Jaw Racing 045 of Alex Jones might just get in the mix. Alex Jones does. This could become an even more risky battle to keep an eye out for. Keep track of what Alex Jones does here, as he could mix up the in regards to our strategy. It is a swing of the pendulum, and it could be another shift of who's got the advantage in terms of strategy. Now Dustin Pickles in the mix as well, and if Dustin gets in it, it's going to be 3 wide middle. Number 29 machine gets filed out fast, and River Page ends up on the top side, and looks like he will end up fading as well. River Page going to give way to Andrew Cootie, at least for the time being here, but you can see River again has that speed, and he just will not stop. And Alex Jones tries to look low, doesn't go for it just yet. He ends up on the top side once again with River Page, and they'll be side by side now. It's Alex Jones, Andrew Cootie, neck and neck, and now River Page not going to park it through the high side. He's going to get the full speed and get right away from Andrew Cootie. This will cost him a spot, and it's going to bring Alex Jones right there with them. And with 31 laps to go, Alex Jones going to now get right by Andrew Cootie as Ethan Workman comes down to pit road, this time by final pit stop of the season, this time through 36 laps on his run. It's Workman in. In addition, Andrew Cootie comes down to pit road. He will drop in this time by. This is his final opportunity. He might try to go for a bit more of a shorter pit stop, maybe try to go for 2 tires. Let's watch here, because this is one of the most essential pieces of the strategic puzzle. Andrew Cootie comes comes in this time by. He's going to take the right side. Does he choose to take the left? That remains to be seen here, and it looks like he will choose to get both. So it's going to be 4 tires and fuel for the driver of the number 9 machine, Andrew Cootie. Traditional pit stop gets him back going. As for Max Molina, as they come through this time by, 4 tires and fuel for Molina. It's the same old for both drivers, and just like that, Molina gets right back on the way. So Max Molina right now, he's got a ways to go. He gets out just about 4 seconds back on Andrew Cootie. Not a terrible pit stop at all for Max Molina, however, still further away than he would like to be. And now Jacob Wilkerson, who is 9.5 seconds behind James Thurston, is the focus once again. And Thurston so far up, rest of the field has to wonder what can they do here in the final night of the season. Point battles are still to be decided. The championship race comes down to the wire, and with 29 laps to go, last pit stop, it's the final opportunity to make that jump, take that risk, and now with course, Dustin Pickle, not to mention Alex Jones coming in. Race leader James Thurston comes through one final time. Here we go. Number 4 machine makes it down to pit road. New race leader in Jacob Wilkerson. And now your championship leader will lead this race, and a 35-lap stint has given way to the number 43 as your top driver on the timing sheets. And the final moments of what's been an action-packed night here in the Homestead-Miami Speedway see a 28-lap dash from this point onward. It is going to be the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse number 43 of Jacob Wilkerson coming down and in. Wilkerson leads him through, and now your race leader comes to pit road. It's a 35-lap run for Wilkerson, leading one of which Henry Kaloff now set to take the race lead, and that he will. Kaloff at the line will be your race leader. New driver at the top of the board, Henry Kaloff now on top. So the 63 takes the race lead. Then from there, you'll see Michael Deitch is going to be running in second. And with Jacob Wilkerson now down on pit road, the question is who's going to get back up to him in terms of the pit cycle. It looks right now, nobody's even close. I mean, now Andrew Cootie comes down the backstretch, and he's the closest anyone is. And it's like now, as Jacob Wilkerson makes his way out, it's a substantial advantage. You can see as he rolls through into the entry of 1 and 2, Andrew Cootie is going flat out down the front straightaway, not at all close enough, and Wilkerson will once again cycle back up in front, and just like that, Jacob Wilkerson leads the championship fight all over again, with River Page now coming into play. It's Henry Kaloff, new race leader, Michael Deitch down to pit road, and it's going to be the 57 coming in. This will give James Thurston second place once again, and Thurston once again, indeed, set to cycle back up to the race lead, and Jacob Wilkerson is going to be a total of now 10 seconds back on your race leader. Shows the dominance of James Thurston has continued, while it looks like now River Page makes his way through 27 laps down. Final pit stop of the night. He'll make it here now. Final of the season for the Miata Gang Design 24 machine. River is in. Michael Deitch is now down on pit road as well. 25 laps to go. Henry Kaloff going to make it by Joey Stone, and for Joey Stone's championship hopes going up in smoke so early tonight, and that's the biggest shame of it all, losing that opportunity to fight for the championship so early due to damage. Now he still is on the track, and it's not to say it's impossible for him to win the championship. Being 2 laps down without going for that extra pit stop goes to show his strategy is just about ruined. So for Joey Stone, very bad news, and we'll see whether or not he's got what it takes to maybe pull it back together next season and go back for a championship fight. But right now for Joey Stone, he's running in the 10th position, and he's 2 laps down. Not at all what he'd like to see, as you'll see come down to pit road. There's Chance Parker making his way in, and 24 laps to go for the driver of the number 42. He comes down to pit road as well, with Parker making his way in. It's another driver set to take that final step, final pit stop of the campaign. Now only waiting on Henry Kaloff, and Kaloff will keep us waiting with 23 laps to go. And with 23 to go this time by, 22 to go up next, we are going to crank it up with the best camera providers on the iRacing market. TrackCams22.com provide high quality iRacing cameras for over 100 track and card combinations. No matter what choice you have on your iRacing content, if you're a broadcaster, you work with sim racing photography. Check out trackcams22.com for more information, and we'll be back after these brief messages. Henry Taloff has not yet got down to pit road. He's been on track for 35 laps. He's set to make one more pit stop as we will crank it up with 22 laps remaining. And returning now with just above 15 laps to go, James Thurston controls this race with an 11-second advantage as he hopes to wrap up the season what could be a final victory worth remembering. His most recent win coming at the Dover Motor Speedway, getting it done as, of course, his first race ever since he found himself out of contention in the round of 16, came back, got the checkered flag, and is now looking to do so one final time tonight, and getting it done at Homestead in what will be one of the most deserved wins all season long. One of the most decorated drivers in FORL Cup Series history, and after tonight might just be the winningest driver without a championship if, of course, Jacob Wilkerson holds on. As with 15 laps to go, James Thurston en route to another checkered flag this season, won his first race at New Hampshire, lit the fuse, got himself back going, and coming through with a 4-victory campaign. If he, of course, gets this one done, it will be another checkered flag to add to a hat trick and make it a square, as the It's now 14 laps remaining with 11-second lead over championship leader Jacob Wilkerson. Now, unfortunately, of all the drivers in the championship for tonight, we never had a face camera from Jacob Wilkerson. So we'll be watching on board, unfortunately, only in the iRacing realm. However, Wilkerson knows one thing. This is a much anticipated night. Drivers, fans, viewers alike have been hyping up this night to see whether or not their favorite driver can get it done. And tonight for DeHub Motorsport, Max Molina. For CCH Motorsport, it was Andrew Cootie. For PBR, who of course got it done with Max Molina last season, they are now looking for a back-to-back championship victory as a team. It is Jacob Wilkerson with 13 laps to go who has that advantage, and in the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale, it could be Wilkerson who pulls it through in his Toyota Camry, that number 43 still out in front. Andrew Cootie right now finds himself, give or take, 10 seconds away from Wilkerson, and right now going to be running solidly inside the 5th position. Max Molina then going to be in 6th, and while these drivers are running well, they would need a late race caution for anything to occur, and right now with 12 laps left, that does not look to be likely in the slightest here, so it's going to take a lot to find out whether or not the championship running will change, because right now, unless there's a major incident, which looks to be especially unlikely as the laps pass by, the championship is all but effectively decided. He's still got to keep on going though. Jacob Wilkerson has 11 laps to run before he can crown himself a championship, and Joey Stone now going to be several laps down, 3 laps down as a matter of fact. And of all the drivers on the championship for this season, most heartbreaking way to go out for Joey Stone and this number 8 team, as they put together one hell of a campaign as a rookie crew as well. However, with that final incident to kick off the night, you saw the second and final caution and a string of 2 yellow flags in a row. Joey Stone got the worst of it all. Just like that, his championship chance came to an end. There's going to be Max Molina going down to the bottom side on Andrew Cootie. Now a battle between the drivers fighting for second in the championship. Molina, who's now running in 3rd in the points, would like to get by Andrew Cootie to get that runner-up spot, because if anything were to happen, maybe it'll be Max Molina getting the benefit of it all instead of Andrew Cootie going down low to the bottom side. The number 45 machine looks low, can't get it just yet. Andrew Cootie's still there, and in the case there's a contact between these drivers, it could change the complexion of this season all over again. We saw the first caution was Max Molina and Jacob Wilkerson. Who's to say Max Molina doesn't make contact this time with Andrew Cootie, and we see a late race restart? It's possible, but I know for a lot of these drivers, Thurston, Wilkerson, and maybe even those like Joey Stone, you just want to get this season over with and say, move on to the next one, regroup, go for season 4, and fight once again. 8 laps to go. The battle for second in points rages on, and now I'm going to try to get there with Andrew Cootie once again, but it looks like it won't work just yet. At 133 laps in, this time by coming to lap 134 at the 200-mile marker. James Thurston, who has led just about every lap since the very beginning, climbing up from his qualifying position in the middle of the field. It's a definite that Thurston fights every night here at a track like Homestead. He is always a favorite and shows exactly why. Once more, leading with 7 laps to go. He's got the advantage now by nearly 12 full seconds. Nobody in his zip code tonight. However, championship leader, it is Jacob Wilkerson, who is in 2nd and has 6 seconds of his own over Ethan Workman in 3rd, Alex Jones in 4th. Then you look back to Andrew Cootie and Max Molina, who keep on fighting for this final spot inside the top 5. And as the battle rages on, keep in mind only 7 drivers on the lead lap. Henry Kaloff is the last of which. He's 28 seconds behind your leader. That's how close James Thurston is to putting this field 1 lap down, because he could get up to Henry Kaloff realistically and maybe even get up to both Andrew Cootie and Max Molina. That goes to show the dominance of course, James Thurston here at Homestead, which of course has been displayed by the majority of the field already being 1 lap down, but it could be only 3 drivers on the lead lap when all is said and done. If it all goes James Thurston's way from here, that is still possible. Molina's going to wiggle. Andrew Cootie goes right down low. This could be the battle for second in points that changes the entirety of this race, so keep in mind the closest 2 drivers on the field are still fighting each other, and they're going at it with 100% of what they've got left this season. They don't want to walk away with a half-baked effort. If you want to put something in, put it in now, or of course, hold your peace. 5 laps to go. This time by, it's going to be coming down to 4 laps to go for James Thurston as he makes it across the stripe just moments away from a battle ahead. It's Molina and Cootie still fighting, and take a look at this. Henry Kaloff now in the mix, and Henry Kaloff is trying to get himself in the picture as well. Maybe going to enter the frame at the same time. Number 63 Machine dives down low, looking for a top 5 finish to end the season. 2 drivers in the wall at once. They're going to both be locking in the wall. Molina's in the wall indeed. Big time for Max Molina. Andrew Cootie gets away, and now we might see tempers flare, and Cootie gets away from Molina. Now Andrew Cootie's in the wall. Max Molina is going to go down low. 3 laps to go. Wilkerson has a major championship advantage, but the battle for second is still powerful, and Cootie's in the wall, and he spins Max Molina. Yellow flag is out. We are going to overtime. Molina, Cootie, they will spin, and we will head to a green-white checkered finish to end this season. Can you believe it? And after all we've done with 3 laps to go, so close to locking up the title, tempers flare, Cootie in the wall, Max Molina trying to get away, and as a result, 2 of your championship 4 will go spinning, and Molina gets knocked into, and he just avoids the wall. Andrew Cootie, not quite as lucky. He's got a scuff on the right side, but in all honesty, that might have saved their championship nights. And just like that, the yellow flag will fly. Keep this in mind. They were just about a lap behind the entire field. Andrew Cootie and Max Molina alike, they were there fighting 1 lap down almost to James Thurston. That might just be the saving grace of a championship battle that now comes down to a final move to maybe go down to pit road or maybe not. Looks like Cootie and Molina will choose not to this time by. Wilkerson does, and all of a sudden, hook up the webcams, hook up all of the action in one moment. Everyone comes together. Grab your popcorn, stay seated. We're not done just yet. Now the question is, who do we focus on in terms of the drivers who have the webcams? We'll keep an eye on that later. Now, most importantly though, is the question, Wilkerson getting new tires. What are the guys like Molina and Cootie going to do? Now all of a sudden they're both up there in the front of the field on the lead lap, and they might just have a chance to get that race lead. I mean, this is the biggest development of the night, and it all comes down to whether or not it's Cootie and Molina staying on the track and not going down to pit road. They're not going to be 1 lap down. They'll get cycled back on the lead lap. Overtime mania here in the FORL Cup Series, and James Thurston might have even lost a chance at the guaranteed race victory. That remains to be seen, as now you're going to have the closest battle of the night. It's going to be a 2-lap dash, and it's Andrew Cootie who holds his own, and Max Molina right behind, both of which 7th and 8th right now, while Jacob Wilkerson runs in 2nd. And even though Wilkerson is not locked up tonight, it might just be, of course, all about keeping the track position he has. He's running in 2nd, whereas his championship rivals are running in 7th and 8th respectively, and they're going to choose, at this rate, not to go down a pit road. So the question is, what do they expect to get? Track position, they need it, and they're going to have to take it all of a sudden now in the final laps. They cannot go down a pit road. There's no choice now except to roll with what they have, and they might need another caution. That might be the best course of action for these 2 drivers, as we're going to hook up our Fireball Talks non-stop camera equipment and watch the chaos unfold. It's going to be all down to whether or not Andrew Cootie or Max Molina have anything for Joey Stone. And of course, Stone's now going to be down and out, but it's mainly about the one driver who's been up in front of them both all night long, Jacob Wilkerson. We are hooking up our Fireball Talks non-stop equipment right now, and you're going to see all the action right there with us. Now, on the right side of your screen, we're looking at Andrew Cootie's webcam. He finds himself as the leading driver of those that we have camera access to. He runs right now in the 7th position, and number 9 machine is going to be on the right side of your screen, while the main feed is on the left. James Thurston is still your race leader. He's led for over 135 laps tonight already, and has been the dominant man throughout the entirety of this event. Now, this is what it's all about. There's James Thurston weaving and bobbing back back and forth. Wilkerson is going to be in second. Ethan Workman is third. Alex Jones is fourth. Henry Kaloff is then in fifth. 1 lap to go. This time by James Thurston is going to be your race leader as we come across to what could be the final lap under caution. This is overtime procedure. Now, keep it in mind, we can see at the very most 3 cautions. Now, it's going to be 3 extra cautions. This is the first overtime finish out of 3 that we could possibly have. If there's a yellow flag before the white flag flies, then we do this all over again, and we run it back with another run of pit stops, another run under caution, more pace laps. If we get to the white flag, no matter what, this race will be over. And as such, it all comes down to whether or not these drivers keep it clean. We have seen multiple instances of double overtime this season, so don't think for a second that's all of a sudden going to go away. Now with Andrew Cootie getting back to the field, now with Max Molina getting there as well, we have ourselves a fight to the finish, and it's going to be a fight to remember. 2 laps to go, this time by green, white, checkered. Get ready, as it looks like we're going to have 1 extra lap under pacing. Does a call be made for Cootie or Molina to go down to pit road? It looks like it just might not be. Cootie stays out, and so does Max Molina. Now everyone's grouped up this time by. Cootie's going to go high. Molina is going to go way low, and a bit of a debacle here in terms of everyone choosing where they're supposed to go. Max Molina is going to end up on the way low side, actually 3 wide for now, while Cootie gets up top, and he's next to your championship rival. Molina gets caught in the back. Andrew Cootie's got a huge advantage, and now it's a head-to-head, the number 9 and the number 43. Coming through, this time by James Thurston. It's not a given he wins. He has only about a 1/10 of a second to spare from the rest of the field. He's been a dominant man all night long, but we've seen him multiple times over. If there's a driver that sees misfortune in the final laps, it is James Thurston. Most recently at Watkins Glen, it came in the hands of championship contender Andrew Cootie. We've got cameras on the right side of your screen looking right now at Andrew Cootie's number 9. Jacob Wilkerson, with 3 laps to go, thought he had the championship locked up. Thought by now he'd be doing a champion's interview. Thought he'd have done his burnout and called it a season. But tonight, it will not end at our scheduled lap time. It's now on to overtime on FTN. Let's get this started once again. Time to get things moving. iRacing official pace car drops down and in. James Thurston with the lead as they come through the restart zone this time by green flag in our first green-white checker of the night. 2 laps to go in the season. And it's going to be a hard-fought battle. Cootie's going to get spun. It's going to be Wilkerson involved as well. Everyone goes around. Big caution. Beating and banging. Every driver gets wrecked. They're all involved. It was Wilkerson. It was Molina. It was also another spin. Wilkerson is still wrecking, and the caution flies again. I don't know what this is going to come to because everyone's wrecked, and it looks like nobody gets through unscathed. Yellow flag is out. Jacob Wilkerson gets caught in it. Max Molina's season is all but over. Andrew Cootie's got major damage too. Yellow flag is out again. Unbelievable. And we are going to double overtime. Caution is out, and you saw it unfold right in front of you. We have another caution, another overtime. It ain't over just yet as we take an FTN instant replay there, and you'll see it. There's going to be the trouble. Andrew Cootie gets involved. There's going to be Max Molina, and overdriving that corner leads to just that. 3 laps to go, and we are going to return to the Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale with James Thurston still your leader. And once again, we're going to see drivers come down to pit road. You're going to see now Andrew Cootie getting new tires, and Max Molina going to try to get a new everything here. Jacob Wilkerson, he's going to be now only in 4th, which means he actually loses the most of anyone here. And it looks like it's going to be Joey Stone also losing the front bumper as well. It's becoming a bit more of a chaotic night to end it all off after only 2 cautions, and all of a sudden we've gotten 2 in the last 10 laps. And this is treacherous territory because it means now that Andrew Cootie needs to get the jump off pit road. He's going to try to fight with Molina and the like to get back out there because it's now Jacob Wilkerson in fourth. Cootie's going to stay down there maybe for a bit more extended damage repair. However, he's got newer tires. Is that enough of an advantage? Does Jacob Wilkerson have it made here? Is it going to come down to whether or not the tires are the most important factor? Is the damage the most important? Because Jacob Wilkerson got caught up in that wreck too. Don't think for a second he got away unscathed. He has damage as well. So as such, we might just see the number 43 machine of Jacob Wilkerson have a bit more trouble getting around. And just like that is going to be Wilkerson trying to hold his own. Meanwhile, Max Molina gets out. He's going to be 8th as it stands. Andrew Cootie going to be right now on pit road still. And he's got a lot more damage repair than Molina, to say the least. 1 minute and 16 seconds on pit road. James Thurston coming through this time by. And now we're going to find out whether or not the driver of the number 43 machine can hold on to the championship. Andrew Cootie is going to be getting back on the track. He will be starting what looks to be in the 9th position. Max Molina with no front bumper. He's crab walking, gets back out there in 8th. And Chance Parker is going to be in 7th here. So now Cootie with a clean car, or cleaner than Molina, starts in 9th. Max Molina is going to be in 8th here. And it's going to be then Jacob Wilkerson in position number 4. So Cootie's got the best chance of them right now in terms of who we're watching with the cameras. I still think Jacob Wilkerson has the best opportunity to get it done. However, it was a risk and he got involved with that yellow flag. He had himself some damage. Nothing is out of range now. Caution flies again. 3 laps to go. It ain't over till it's over. We only have one more extension after this available to every driver, so keep that in mind. 3 laps to go. Overtime finish here in Homestead. And as the championship finale has come to its most chaotic conclusion, Season 2 came down to a very late race fight, but Molina made his way. It was Kyle Freeman in one overtime attempt who got the inaugural series championship, and now Jacob Wilkerson, seeing the lights bright here in Homestead-Miami, knows this is the biggest opportunity in his sim racing career to get a major championship, big stage with high-level competition. Tonight, though, it looks like everyone's devolved into a bit of madness to end the year, and with the final race of the year coming to a 10-lap extension, this is lap 148 out of 150. We were expected to end at lap 140, and had it not been for Cootie and Molina getting into each other, well, we might have just seen ourselves a championship crown already. Coming down this time by for the choose rule. One more time, Thurston goes low. He will take, looks to be Alex Jones right there with him. And from there on out, Henry Kaloff is going to go on the bottom side. Wilkerson makes big gains. Andrew Cootie goes up top to follow. Workman, Deitch, and Wilkerson side by side yet again. Cootie on the right side of your screen, watching whether or not he'll have a chance, and we'll know by the white flag whether or not the opportunity is still there. Wilkerson, he's one of 2 drivers with a realistic chance. Molina's front end is destroyed. The number 4 machine still has a shot at the win. Jacob Wilkerson wants a chance at the title. He had it almost locked up. 15 laps to go, and 15 laps ago, but now we've gone deep into it. This is your second overtime attempt. Here we go again in 1 lap's time, as now the field paced once again. It looks like a slight extension even further. Lap 149, lap 151 is your now unofficial ending lap. If we get to the white flag, it will be official. However, still room for one more overtime attempt to end this season. Kaloff in the mix, Ethan Workman, there's Andrew Cootie right there, there's Max Molina, and we are watching championship rivals fighting in real time for this trophy. The most intense season of FORL Cup Series competition, and we've seen race after race pan out, and now only 4 drivers remain in contention, 2 of which don't have front bumpers. 2 of which still have relatively clean cars, but have been involved in at least 1 caution all night long, both of which have actually been involved in 2. So now, as the on by for the fourth restart of the night, second overtime attempt. It is James Thurston and the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport crew. They just want to get this over with and come home with a race to win. For Wilkerson, he wants to get that championship. He thought he had just about 15 laps to go. Now, as they come through this time by, the iRacing official pace truck will leave the field potentially for good. Second overtime attempt tonight, as you'll see James Thurston and Wilkerson push and shove. Green flags out yet again. Advantage James Thurston. And Thurston's got a big edge this time by, with Andrew Cootie trying to surge in the middle. He's going to get spun again. It's contact once more, and at the wall, Cootie gets destroyed. Caution's out, and I think that's going to be Cootie's season then and there. Now another hit. Max Molina gets away, but he gets in the wall as well. And it looks like now everyone besides Jacob Wilkerson is in for a horrible ending. As you'll see, Molina's got substantial damage, not to mention Andrew Cootie there too. Take an instant replay once again, because I believe that's going to be Cootie's season. He was trying to drive the wheels off it, and that's what happens. Now, with 3 overtime attempts, Andrew Cootie gives it his all and then some, and might have given a bit too much, a bit too fast. Take a look one more time here. It looks like Cootie's chances come to a close. You'll see that number 9 right up top. And just like that, he's going to get loose through the groove. Doesn't have the speed, comes right back up, gets the caution he needs, but gets the damage he doesn't. And we've now gone to our third and final overtime attempt. Nothing more that can be done from this point onward. There is no further point. This is the point of no return. If there's a caution, race ends. Simple as that. And James Thurston now very close to locking up the win. Jacob Wilkerson close to locking up the championship. It is not official, however, and we saw him get involved with the wreck beforehand. So maybe there is a chance again to see another driver break through, but it's now becoming slimmer and slimmer. Wilkerson, the only driver in the championship four with a somewhat in-shape car. Now, Wilkerson, he's still rolling. Andrew Cootie still barely has a front bumper. Meanwhile, Joey Stone and Max Molina alike have a lot more to deal with, and it looks like Joey Stone caught at least 1 lap down to end the season. James Thurston now just wants to end it with the checkered flag in hand. 3 laps to go this time by. And approaching what could be the 230-mile territory, one of the longest races all season long, James Thurston, Jacob Wilkerson, Michael Deitch. First, second, and third. And looks like right now, Michael Deitch going for 2 consecutive podiums. He came second last time by at Las Vegas, and he was only a few thousandths of a second away from winning. Dustin Pickle barely got out of the line. However, for Michael Deitch, he just barely lost it. Now, James Thurston still has the lead. David Bell, Kenny Reel in chat, thank you for stopping by. 3 laps to go. This time by indeed, it's going to be the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse season finale holding his own. James Thurston, 152 laps in. He's led over 140 laps at this point. He's dominated the entire race and just about has it in his control. However, he still has to finish out these final 2 laps, which are just ahead of us. Now, this is the final overtime attempt of the season. No matter what, caution flies, race is over. If not, white flag flies and we get to the final lap, but at the end of it all, this is it. James Thurston, who's led the entirety of this race, save for give or take 5 laps, has the lead. Jacob Wilkerson, who has seen all his championship rivals crumble behind him, has the championship lead. And Michael Deitch just wants to go for 2 consecutive podiums and maybe come home with a win. Wilkerson high, James Thurston low. And now time to find out what these drivers have in store in the final laps of this night. The waiting hours in the Homestead-Miami Speedway come down to what could be a 1v1 for the race win, and it could be a head-to-head between Thurston and Wilkerson, but right now Jacob just has to hold on for 2 more laps, 3 more miles. Cootie's in 6th, has substantial damage, and it's then Max Molina in 10th, substantial damage. Joey Stone in 11th, substantial damage, 2 laps down. The final 4, not finalized just yet, but we'll see who locks it down for a championship chance here in Homestead as James Thurston comes through this time by. Final restart of the season. Green flag back in the air, and we are underway here in Homestead for the final restart of 2023. Huge separation that time by. James Thurston's got a major advantage. Jacob Wilkerson right there too. Michael Deitch going to be in third. He'll go down to the bottom side. Ethan Workman right there as well, trying to make it high. Side by side, there'll be 2 laps to go. No trouble in the back of the field. Drivers getting away just fine. However, it looks like River Page will spin and it will go down to pit road. No trouble there. Green flag flies. 1 lap to go for James Thurston, the king of the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Known for his speed here in southern Florida, the number 4 machine barrels down the back straightaway with the advantage, holding his own right now for the race lead. And as he goes through turns 3 and 4, dominance leading over 145 laps tonight. Thurston will not be denied, and he will come home as a race winner in Homestead. But back-to-back, Paintbrush Racing gets a championship once again. The number 43 is the king once more. Jacob Wilkerson will win the Season 3 championship in the FORL Cup Series. Wilkerson on top, and the 43 is the top of the standings yet again. Most victories, most top 5s, and once more, Jacob Wilkerson from our season opener at Daytona will come through and win the championship here in Homestead. Triple overtime, all the chaos in the world, and Wilkerson is your champ. The title is his, and the celebration is about to begin. James Thurston will come down to celebrate his 4th victory of the season, burning it down for Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports, whereas Jacob Wilkerson is set to begin his championship burnout to end the season. And for Jacob Wilkerson and the number 43 team, Rookie of the Year honors are sure to go to this Toyota Camry. Jacob Wilkerson, Paintbrush Racing, McConey Setup Shop, and the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse. Champions tonight, and a dominant season from start to finish. Winning the season opener at Daytona, dominating the playoffs, and tonight he had to survive every possible lap, 155 of which Wilkerson is a FORL Cup Series champion, and it's an undeniable fact that he fought every race of this season to get to this point. Jacob Wilkerson will get it done, and a champion is made in the number 43. James Thurston wins in a dominant night for the number 4 machine. 7/10 back, your champion comes home second, and Michael Deitch rounds out the podium. 2 consecutive top 3s for the number 57. It'll be Henry Kaloff in 4th, and pole sitter Ethan Workman in 5th, with Alex Jones 6th, Dustin Pickle 7th, and Andrew Cootie position number 8. Max Molina is 9th, and Chance Parker then is going to be in 10th, with Joey Stone 11th, Hunter Bogdan 12th, River Page 13th, and Michael Cormetis in the 14th spot, with Jackson Carr 15th, Wesley Kutznuff in 16th, and Ross Corlett position number 17. It'll be 18th, of course, your race control and Bryce Hamrick. 17 drivers took to the track, and only one comes out as a race winner, only one as well as a champion. And just like that, the Homestead-Miami Speedway sees a finale to remember. 3 overtime finishes, all the action you could ask for, and as the checkered flag falls to end the season, Thurston is a winner, Wilkerson is a champion. And how about this season ending in such a dramatic fashion? We're going to take it back and watch James Thurston, and we're going to get our first interview with tonight. The race winner, the number 4, ending with another checkered flag, and the biggest of all championship spoilers was this number 4 team. James Thurston, you come home a winner once again. Checkered flag is yours to end the season at Homestead, and we knew you'd be quick here, and you prove us right once more. How do you feel getting the checkered flag to end another season here in the FORL Cup Series?
Yeah, I'm happy to get it done for Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports. You know, we're in this fight to go for the championship here. And then we got taken out for a few races. We missed the rounds because of that, and yeah. But I don't know. Playoff championships don't mean that much, anyways. We all know that. I mean, congrats to Wilkerson though. He worked hard for it. I'm sorry. I'm fighting a cold at the moment, but yeah, just happy to get it done here. We were extremely fast all race, and just very happy with the car's balance. And yeah, that's about just the type of performance I was looking to put on here tonight.
And it's a performance worth remembering. Tonight we saw gaps as big as about 11.5 seconds to the rest of the field. You had the speed, that was in no doubt. The strategy was locked down. How was it? Of course, the championship pressure wasn't quite on you. So you had to get away from that and put your own spotlight with that lead. So you think it was a bit more relaxing up in front, not having to worry about the rest of the field?
Yeah, I didn't care about the championship 4. Even if they were racing around me, I wasn't going to race them any differently. I mean, that was the plan coming in here. Is just, prove, championship 4 wrong, that they're not, always the fastest guys. But yeah, it's whatever. But yeah, just happy to win the race, and yeah, just happy to win at Homestead, my home track. Well, yeah, one of my home tracks, and just, yeah, thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports for the fast car, and yeah.
And once again, Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports on top with a dominant race victory here in Homestead. Now, Season 4 coming up next, so with that in mind, this number 4 team won again multiple races, a championship contender with a regular season championship being yours. You can maybe go back and fight for a title next season?
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'll probably come back. I don't know if we're gonna run the 4 or the 96. I haven't decided yet, but yeah, just fun race there until the overtimes, and yeah, hopefully next season will be more like the first part of this race and not so much like the end of it. But yeah, great race there, and just again, thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports for the incredibly fast race car. Just yeah, thanks to just everything that makes this thing go fast, and just awesome race there, and yeah.
And there we have it. James Thurston comes through once again. Checkered flag is his to end the season here in the FORL Cup Series. Anything else you'd like to add after this race?
I think that's about it. But yeah, just thanks for streaming, and yeah, see you tomorrow, right? Yeah, for IORA. So yep, see you there.
And heading back to the track for IORA, James Thurston pulls through, checkered flag in hand, to finish Season 3 at Homestead. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
James Thurston on the way. Number 4 machine gets it done. We got a championship crowned immediately behind him. And for the number 43 of Jacob Wilkerson, not only another podium finish, but to end a dominant season as a championship is yours. Back-to-back for PBR, the number 43 gets the title, and you've got it as a rookie. All this season, leading up to this point, victories, top 5s, podiums, and all, you've been the class of the field, and you get it done. Once again, second place, avoided all the chaos. What's it like with the championship now being yours?
Oh man, it feels good. I was so scared when that yellow came out with like I think 3 to go. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then that first green light checkered. Ethan Workman self-spun. I even almost self-spun, and we all just wrecked, and I somehow saved it. I did hit the wall a little bit and got a little bit of damage, but it wasn't enough to fully kill my car. And my main focus was just to finish the race. Like, don't even try and get the win. I just needed to cruise it around. But yeah, what a season. What a season. I think 5 wins total. Been mainly dominant this whole playoff season, this whole playoffs, and my strategy was working really good. I think I was the championship leader throughout most of the race. Like they just could not get me. Like that was just too fast. But yeah, it was a fun race. It definitely the car felt so much better on the bottom. I was only like running the top just to, like either pass people or defend. But yeah, I was just running the bottom most of the race and just most of the run and just running my race, and we got it done finally. Glad that race is over. Like I was scared the whole 3 green white checkers, but that was fun.
And holding out, despite the green-white checkers, as you mentioned, you had dominance throughout this entire playoff picture. However, always with the Final Four, anything can happen. So how was it like understanding the situation, the desperation of all the drivers behind you trying to make those passes and still holding out what you had?
Yeah, my main focus was I didn't care about any other driver except for the other 3 contenders. Like I was just more focused on just needing to beat those 3 drivers and just never looked back. And yeah, my strategies throughout the whole playoffs worked. I have to give a huge thanks to Zach Todger for giving me this opportunity to race for PBR, and I'm glad to get PBR back-to-back championships for the Cup Series. And I got to thank all my partners, Maconi Setup Shop for all the setups that they built, and Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse for all their merchandise, and Joaquin for putting on this league, and shout out to all the fans at home watching, and you for broadcasting, and yeah, I'm just so proud for this team, and yeah, it was such a fun season.
And a fantastic season to look back on for you with all the victories in mind, the championship being yours. Before we head on to season 4, is there anything else you'd like to add after night's race to sort of reflect on a fantastic championship effort?
Yeah, I am looking forward to season 4. We could probably, with our performances we did this season, I feel like we could carry that on to next season and get ourselves another championship. If we could just have luck go our way and just stay out of trouble. And yeah, should be fun. Looking forward to next season.
Looking forward to what is next. Jacob Wilkerson, Season 3 champion, pulls through, and the Rookie of the Year award most certainly going to our championship driver. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And with Jacob Wilkerson on the way, 2nd place, championship in hand, one more driver on your podium for tonight's event, Michael Deitch, for 2 consecutive podiums in a row. You finish out here in Homestead once again, avoiding trouble, triple overtime, and it goes your way, 3rd place. How's it feel once again back in the top 3?
It's just a summary of the last few weeks for me in this season. I just kept on capitalizing on other people's misfortunes, and it paid off. I'm happy to end the season on a high note with another podium.
And podiums becoming a bit of a regular for this team, and once again so close to the victory, all of a sudden really turning it up as of recent. You think there's any changes this team's made to make another podium out of this night?
I don't know if like doing anything different is the right way of putting it, but like I said, we're capitalizing on what's going on around us, and I wasn't surprised that we did all that crashing within the final few laps. So yeah, like I said, just capitalizing on what's going on around us.
Capitalizing big time once again. Now, this is one of the longest races we've had all season long, in excess of 230 miles of racing, and it was not scheduled to be that long. We get pretty far into our overtime procedure, and you see how much more we get out of the night. So with that being said, how was it with longer racing than expected and during the track conditions as the night went on, and managing strategy above all else?
I gotta admit that was pretty difficult. I felt like no matter what I tried, I just couldn't get anywhere. Like no, I could run the bottom, get nowhere. Run the top, get nowhere. Take 4 tires, get nowhere. Take 2 tires, get nowhere. So I feel like I was just in trouble no matter what I tried, and I was really relying on the caution to get us better track position.
Relying on all of the chaos, the frustration, the attrition, and whatnot, Michael Dyke. It's 2 consecutive podiums to end the season. A great way to look back on your successes and maybe reflect on what could even go better with Season 4 coming up. 2024 on the horizon. You think there's anything more in mind for this team to maybe continue improving for more podium runs?
I hope so, and the results show it. And kind of goes without saying, but I will be back in the 57 full time next season with GBS, and we're just gonna keep building on what we've been doing the last year and a half. So I'm looking forward to it.
And looking forward to keeping things going. Michael Deitch, number 57 machine. If you'd like to thank your sponsor or anyone else, be sure to let us know right now. We'd love to hear it.
All right. Thanks to Joaquin Stewart for putting this lead together. Thanks also to Joaquin again for putting me on his team about midway through Season 2. I also want to thank my primary sponsor, the University of Akron Brands, for supporting me the last few years. I just had my last performance with them on Friday. Also, thanks to our music education chapter for supporting me as well. And who else? Oh, shout out to my new teammates, Michael Comenes and Henry Kaloff. We're going to be doing some fun stuff in the off season and once the season gets back going. So yeah, thanks to everyone, man. Thank you for broadcasting. Shout out to the admins for trying to keep it as fair as possible. And yeah, just a great year for this league.
Another fantastic year of development here. Michael Deitch in particular standing out in the final 2 races. 2nd place, 3rd place in a row to end Season 3 with a podium in hand. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David.
And with Michael Deitch on the move, that is your final podium ceremony of the year. 3rd place goes to Michael Deitch. 2nd place goes to Jacob Wilkerson. James Thurston is your winner, but your Season 3 champion, Jacob Wilkerson, pulls through and gets it done for the Homestead-Miami Speedway, outlasting all the chaos and all the frustration. Action-packed night, attrition, overtime finishes 3 times over, and it ends up in the hands of this number 43 team. It's Jacob Wilkerson on top. We'd like to thank all the viewers watching throughout this entire season. 21 races of action, and it all came down to a thrilling finish between your final 4. I've been David Kreutz, commentating and producing the entirety of this season live on FTN. If you've enjoyed tonight's action, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. We thank y'all for watching and hope to have you back tomorrow night when we go live with the IORA Cup Series. In addition, hope to have you for next season, February of 2024, as the FORL Cup Series hopes to ramp things back up again for what should be an exciting Season 4. We thank y'all for your immense support once again, and we hope y'all watch us whenever we're live again on FTN. Thank y'all for watching the FORL Cup Series. This has been a presentation of the Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse Season 3 finale. We hope you have a fantastic night.